Hey everyone, I'm here to do a response to Jason Unruh's video about called M3W Weekday 7 Resistance and Revolution. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Resistance and revolution. So two important things to keep in mind here. One of the biggest lies spread about third worldism is that we advocate do-nothingism. Well, you can't do anything in the first world, so why even bother? No, we don't advocate that. Actually, we largely advocate doing stuff to help the third world. Something that's actually productive, something that will actually do something. Our main line is this: revolution in the third world, resistance in the first world. There is point to building resistance in the first world. Organizing actually does have an effect, but not organizing for revolution. Organizing for revolution in the first world won't work, but organizing resistance will. Now, what do I mean by resistance? Basically, it's this: the primary contradiction is imperialism, and that imperialism is the first world versus the third world, which is different from what Mao and Lenin said before, because this is our age, this is our relations, these are our material conditions. Our main priority as first world people is to destabilize imperialism. Often that means national suicide, basically screwing up our own country, damaging it so that imperialism collapses. Now, not everybody's going to get on board on this. Of course they're not, because if we just that very act is going against their class position. So you can't expect them to do that. And that's where the problem lies. People don't want to do that. They want revolution. They want to get more. They don't want to do more. They don't want to build things to the point where revolution can happen. They want to just get more stuff when we're already completely overfed anyway.
Saying that everyone in the first world just wants to quote-unquote get more stuff is actually very overgeneralizing.
Now, the anti-war movement is the best thing that any first worlder can do. Sabotage the war, end it, bring the troops home, end the wars, to build the breathing space for third world groups to carry out revolutions in their countries. That is what we can do. Now, the method of this, whether it be liberal protesting or, say, someone taking much more radical action and blowing up a military depot or something, whatever someone's going to do is whatever someone's going to do.
Are you seriously advocating for quote-unquote liberal protesting? Isn't liberal anything bad? Like, inherently being a liberal is bad, and being a liberal, you advocate for the bourgeois state and capitalism. Liberal anything is not going to be resistance to capitalism. It's not going to be resistance to imperialism, because they're fucking liberals.
My only point here is to say that sabotaging imperialism is the main point. It is essentially national suicide. In fact, one of the things that I would actually say is to take back something I said before. Previously I said, don't vote for Ron Paul because ... Oh, I would actually like to take that back.
Oh, this is going to be good.
I was wrong. We should be saying, vote Rand Paul. Vote Rand Paul for president, because basically he'd fuck up the entire country.
He would do major damage, correct. However, would he completely demolish the entire country? No.
First thing, he'd end the wars, which is the number one best thing for the third world, is to end the wars. Second, he would cut a lot of social programs.
Okay, first things first. That is actually, in my opinion, not the best thing for third worlds. simply by there being wars and occupation, the first world will still extract capital from the third world, therefore making it a really shitty place. They would just find more sneaky, underhanded ways of doing it rather than outright occupation like America has done. I mean, I would say actually resisting and fighting in those areas, capitalism, and even here, fighting capitalism and ending the fact that the bourgeois state extract capital from the third world. Simply by bringing the troops home won't end that.
The first world, the United States, would sink like within a month, 2 months.
No, you vastly overestimate the power of the U.S. president. Granted, yes, the U.S. president does have power, but not nearly as much power as you seem to think. How apparently he would completely destroy the U.S. economy and the United States in general in 2 months. Like, the president in the executive branch does not have that much power to do so. They would be impeached before they could do that.
You would have like almost third world conditions. Then you would have a social base for revolution, which is, of course, assuming that he doesn't get assassinated in the meantime. Okay,
I gotta bring this to attention because this is a very strange idea, in my opinion. Simply by there being America turning into a third world and people being more being more poverty-stricken, does not instantly mean they're going to be revolutionary. Proletarian, yes. Revolutionary, not so much. Proletarian does not instantly mean revolutionary. There are very many reactionary people who are proletariat. And there are so many other things that working class people, proletarian people, need to worry about other than revolution in politics, especially in America, where that's viewed as sort of a frivolous luxury to worry about politics. While in the meantime, since people are proletariat, they have to worry about getting food, providing for their families, keeping power on, all these things. And that puts politics and, even the thought of being revolutionary on the back burner. Many people in America are already very poverty-stricken. That's the word I'm looking for. My family, for example, is actually very poor. And many people in my family, in my immediate family, everyone except me is actually very reactionary. I guess even in some ways you can call me reactionary. Depends on your point of view. And since I personally don't have to worry about working and keeping the lights on and feeding my family and supporting them because, well, no one will hire me, that gives me more of an opportunity to focus on trying to be revolutionary, trying to be less reactionary, trying to be more politically active, while everyone else in my family has far more concerns than simply politics and revolution and resistance. They're worried about basic needs.
Because the ruling class will do that if it's necessary. But the bottom line is that we don't advocate doing nothing. This do-nothingism is not what we advocate. We've never said that. This is a lie spread about us. The first world can do resistance because that's what they are in a position to do. And that's what would help the third world, is to end the imperialism against them. So, and the really ironic thing is that essentially first worldism is do-nothingism because they never actually do anything. No, that revolution's not coming. They're just mouthing off on the internet, Facebook groups saying, join our group, not this one because they're whatever accusation.
You're going on and on about this, about how people need to resist and first worldists do nothing, and the entire quote unquote first worldist ideology is do nothingism, when that's literally what you're doing, is mouthing off on the internet, just like me, just like those people on in those Facebook groups. Like, calm down, Jason. We're both just two pile of kids on the internet here.
But none of these groups do anything. Nothing of substance that would build revolution. So really, they are the ones that are doing do-nothingness.
When technically resisting and advocating these accelerationist policies that you're advocating in this video, wouldn't that technically be paving a road towards revolution in the first world, because they're taking the first world, resisting it, turning it to the third world, which is as you put, a social-based revolution. So, by your own logic, you just contradicted yourself.
Is resistance here, revolution in the third. Those two acts combined are what can lay the basis for global revolution.